Scoot to the district Duke tip scholars, please, Ms. Battle. Lickety split.
Thank you, parents, for your patience.
Yes.
For your patience. Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for allowing me to go ahead and recognize our students, because I know they're restless and they're ready to get out of here, so I appreciate it. First, we're going to have our Duke University Talent Identification Program 7th grade talent search. Tonight, we would like to recognize the students who participated in the 2015 Duke University Talent Identification Program 7th grade talent search. Duke TIP is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving academically gifted and talented students. Duke TIP works with students, their families, and educators to identify, recognize, challenge, engage, and help students reach their highest potential. Now in its 35th year, the 7th grade talent search identifies bright 7th graders based on standardized test scores achieved while attending elementary or middle school. Candidates are invited to take the ACT or the SAT college entrance exams as 7th graders, which allows them greater insight into their academic abilities. In addition, they gain valuable benefits and have access to unique resources for gifted students. The following students participated this year, and as I call your name, would you please come forward to be recognized along with your principal. Amaya Gibson, Blenheim Elementary Middle School. Haley Branton, McCall Elementary Middle School. Mackenzie Short, Marlboro School of Discovery. Would the parents of our 3 students please stand? Our 3 young ladies. Principals, Joy.
Mr. Manolfo's just beside himself tonight. Too old.
Parents, would you please, oh, let me get it out. Let me try again. Parents, would you please, can't talk. I give up. Mouse. Thank you. Dr. Tull, make sure you get back in your principal's office and have to move. Okay, thank you. Amaya, would you and your mom please stay? I would now like to recognize one student who qualified for state recognition. Today's honoree has earned an award by scoring approximately at or above the national average of recent high school graduates on at least one part of the ACT. This student will be invited to a special recognition ceremony held at a university in our state. We would like to also honor her here today, and our student is Ms. Amaya Gibson from Blenheim Elementary Middle School. Again, congratulations to all of our young ladies.
Next, the Regional Science Fair winners.
Focused and well-planned science fairs have proven to help stimulate students' interest in science as well as enhance their ability to think more scientifically, thus improving their performance as measured by applicable science tests. On Thursday, April 16th, students from McCall Elementary Middle School, Bennettsville Intermediate School, the School of Discovery, and Wallace Elementary Middle School participated in the Regional Science Fair at Francis Marion University. It is my pleasure to announce that McCall had one regional winner, the School of Discovery had 4 regional winners, and Wallace had 2 regional winners. At this time, I ask that the following students come forward as I call your names to receive your certificate of recognition and lanyard for achieving 1st, 2nd, or 3rd place. Beginning with McCall Elementary Middle School, the teacher is Lucille Shower, thank you. Jameer Pegues, 2nd place in Behavioral and Social Science. We'd also like for the principal and the parents to come forward.
Your little box to stand on.
He's a mess.
Thank you. So I was just told that Mr. Jameer Pegues also won the spelling bee for the district. He continues to excel. For Marlboro County School of Discovery, teacher Lindsay Swartz, Anaya King, honorable mention in gerontology and medicine health. Please come forward with your parents and the principal. Also from School of Discovery, Bryson Driggers, 3rd place in mathematics. Will the parents also come forward? Okay. Also from School of Discovery, Shakira McBride, 2nd place, social media team. Okay. Also, Karika Townsend, 2nd place, social media. She was the other part of the team. So if we could have Karika Townsend and her parents to come up also. Wait, do we have any parents that want to get in the photo? Come on, parents, don't be shy. And from Wallace Elementary Middle School, teacher Cheryl Brigman, Samaya Martin, honorable mention in chemistry. Somebody have
she
any
from
parents?
Wallace.
Also from Wallace Elementary Middle School, Tori Hubbard, second place in behavioral science.
Go Bearcats.
And if we could, if the teachers are here, Miss Lucille Shower, Lindsay Swartz, and Cheryl Brigman, would you please stand? They worked hard with our kids. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Cobb.
Up there, everybody go.
You know down there.
Thank you, Madam Chair, board members. On behalf of the Human Resource and Finance Department, we sought a substitute employee management services assistance to help us deal with substitutes in Marlboro County. And just to reiterate what you have in your packet, attached, please find a proposal from Kelly Educational Staffing for substitute teaching employment services. The district received 4 proposals on March 31st, 2015 that were evaluated by a committee comprised of myself, Ms. Barbara McCall, Ms. Frida Ocean, Mr. Herbert Gould, Ms. Jerry Graham, Mr. Wes Park, and Ms. Angela O'Neill. The committee selected 2 proposals to further evaluate. Source for Teachers was one, and Kelly Educational Staffing. On April 2nd, the committee interviewed representatives from each selected companies. The committee checked references and did further evaluation of the proposals. On April 21st, the committee met again and graded proposals from Source for Teachers and Kelly Educational Staffing. The evaluation criteria, which was evenly weighed, was qualifications, experience, past performance, capability of proposed solution, and price. Kelly received the highest ranking. Real quickly, Kelly Educational Staffing is a specialty service of Kelly, a leader in workforce solution for more than 65 years. Kelly Educational Staffing is the largest provider of substitute teachers nationwide. Kelly Educational Staffing provides a district and schools of all sizes with quality management and quicker field time of substitute teachers, as well as non-instructional positions. They are a full-service, cost-saving solution for educational staffing and placement needs. The recommendation from the school district is that you execute contract with approval of Kelly Educational Staffing as the substitute management services for Marlboro County School District to become effective July 1, 2015.
Do I have a motion?
Tonight, before the motion, Madam Chair, tonight I would like for the school board members and audience to be treated with a presentation from Kelly Educational Staffing. They're with us tonight.
Great. Not 30 minutes, okay?
I promise.
Thank you, Dr. Cobb, Dr. Tiller, Madam Chair, and distinguished members of the board. Thank you so much for having us here this evening. I will make it very quick. And that's why I liked for you to have it ahead of time, because that helps a little bit that you could take a look at it. So what I wanted to share with you was really just an overview and answer any questions. First of all, the big question everybody always asks is, what is Kelly Educational Staffing? And I gave you a definition of that in your presentation. It is a comprehensive workforce solution for school districts. It is inclusive of managing and employing the substitute employee talent pool, recruiting and screening, daily scheduling, managing all payroll and HR functions, and providing data analytics and consulting to help the district identify and address absence issues by absence type, grade, school, or individual. So it is a completely comprehensive program. And the next page that shows the bright colored wheel in your presentation really gives you a great overview of all the pieces that are involved in our process. One of the things that you don't see on here, which I'll talk to you about in just one second, but I wanted to mention it, is that one of the first things we do after we sign a contract with a school district and begin our implementation is we invite all of your current substitute employees to transition their employment to Kelly Educational Staffing. We want to maintain all those great substitutes that you already have, continue the preference list that your building principals have, and then recruit new substitutes here in your community to fill your school's needs. And we will target that recruiting for schools or areas that may be having a harder time finding enough substitute teachers. So a little bit about our experience. Dr. Cobb mentioned we are the largest employer of substitute teachers in the country. We currently work with over 300 schools across South Carolina, 16 public school districts. We actually just signed our 17th that will be joining us for next school year, and that is Clarendon 2. We do have a 100% success rate in improving classroom fill rates in all of the school districts that we are contracted with. And to give you an overview, here are the list of the current school districts that we work with in the state of South Carolina. As I mentioned, there's 16 that we're currently servicing, and then Clarendon will be coming on for next school year, and there's several other districts that we're meeting with right now. Just a little bit about the benefits. So the benefits to the administration vary far and wide, but a lot of the districts tell us that the reduction in staff time spent recruiting, screening, hiring substitutes, also the payroll in the finance area, that time is significantly reduced. You no longer have to recruit or screen those substitute teachers, so those costs go away. The removal of the Affordable Care Act reporting responsibilities and expense. That's something that's been a big concern to a lot of districts that I talk to. We will be responsible for all aspects of the Affordable Care Act because we would be the employer of these substitutes. So we would report everything that's necessary to the government with regard to the Affordable Care Act. And if those substitutes would qualify, working the 30 hours a week, then we would provide them those benefits under the ACA, and that would be our responsibility. You eliminate your workers' compensation costs for this employment pool. You eliminate your unemployment costs. The SLED checks would be handled by us and taken over by us, so that cost would be eliminated. I mentioned higher classroom fill rates, increased quality, and we will be doing training in conjunction with your district. We have talked with your adult ed department, and we would combine our training with theirs with the state curriculum and the work keys and everything that's required. So some benefits to your principals, teachers, and students. One of the things I always want to make sure that my school districts understand is that your principals maintain control of who's in their buildings. If there is someone that they do not want to return for one reason or another, they let us know that. We talk to that person, and we do coach them and counsel them and try to help that substitute improve their behavior the next time they go, but we will block them from that particular school, but we will have that conversation with them. So the principal can remove someone at any time should they need to, or can request not to have someone back, or on the positive side, request certain substitute teachers in their building, and they can build that preference list. Again, they do see an improvement in the quality. We do use an online timekeeping system, which is very user-friendly and easy to use. The consistency of the lesson plan implementation is so important. We go over that in our training. with our substitutes, because you do not want to have any lost learning time while that teacher is out of the classroom. Those lesson plans need to be implemented and need to be consistent so that when they come back, they can take over from there. And we do have a consistent pool of experienced substitutes, resulting in familiarity to your buildings and your principals and your students, so they get used to seeing those same folks over and over. Benefits to substitute employees. This is one of the great things we're able to do, is we are able to offer benefits to the substitutes. So some of those benefits include a free online training that also includes an ebook. It is specific to substitute teaching. It's 5 modules, and it would be a part of that training I just spoke of that we would do in conjunction with the district. We also pay them for an orientation that they attend that talks about your specific policies and procedures and expectations in your district. So they are paid for that time they spend with us during that orientation. We do also provide them with assignment possibilities when school is not in session. So in the summertime, if they want some other work, the other side of our business that is Kelly Services, as most know it, may be able to offer them work in the summer months. We have formal recognition plans that one of them includes our Substitute Teacher of the Year. We have a great benefits package. We pay weekly. We pay electronically. We have access to health care along with the Affordable Care Act. So if someone doesn't qualify for the ACA, there are other options for them. We have an optional 401k plan, a service bonus that actually encourages our substitutes to work more. With regard to the Affordable Care Act, many districts are being forced to limit the number of hours a substitute teacher can work in their district, or a substitute employee can work in their district. And what that does is that a lot of times takes away a day's pay from one of your substitutes that wants to work 5 days a week. We will never limit the number of hours that the substitutes can work. As a matter of fact, that service bonus actually encourages them to work more. It's a qualifying tier system. They can earn up to 2% of their earnings in a bonus at the end of the school year. They have great access to an employee portal that offers them over 3,500 additional training courses. We also have performance feedback for them to increase their success rates. So just to review, our employer obligations would be that we would assume all employer responsibilities such as taxes, state and federal taxes, unemployment, workers' comp, the general liability coverage, ACA, as I mentioned. One thing I haven't mentioned is the no 1099 contractors. All of these will be W-2 Kelly employees employed by us. We will, as I mentioned, comply with the training requirements for Marlboro County Schools. And the thorough screening that we do is at least what you're doing now. That means that we are doing reference checks, we're doing education verification, we're doing the SLED checks. We also do an additional county background screen that's required by Kelly, as well as a National Sex Offender Registry check. And then I just had a couple quotes from 2 of our customers, one from Rock Hill and another one from Berkeley County. What questions may I answer for you? Yes, sir.
Okay, where does your staffing come from? I mean, are they retired teachers? Are they teachers out of college fresh? Where does your staffing come from?
They run the gamut. And it a lot of times depends on the area, because we do recruit from your county. We don't expect substitute teachers to drive very far. My team that I have with me today, Amy and Melissa, are from our Florence office. They would actually come out to Marlboro County to do the recruiting and screening of these folks, so they don't have to come to us. But our employees run the gamut. The nice thing is, for the retirees, they get a little bit of a raise because they don't have to pay into, we can't participate in the teacher retirement. So I know some of our school districts have said that the retirees like that. They get an extra 8%, I think it is, in their paycheck. But again, we will establish recruiting relationships from the local area. So it may be some recent college grads, it may be some that are going to school to be teachers, and it may also be retirees. Sometimes even retirees in other professions want to come back and give back, and they like to substitute teach.
One more quick question.
Yes,
if
sir.
you cannot find teachers in Marlboro County, how do you entice them to come from Florence or Sumter or whatever to Marlboro County?
Most of the time, we have found that we're going to find them from that county. Even in some of our counties that we work in that may be, outside of the larger cities or metro areas, because recruiting is all we do, and it's what we do every single day, we can usually find more people than the school district can. But some of our benefits are really what does entice them. Like, there will be some that will border some of your other districts, so they may want to work in both districts. We're going to entice them to work for you because we have these extra benefits for them, such as the service bonus. The more they work, they get a bonus, those types of things.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Coachman.
Sounds like you got a lot of great benefits there. I really like that. But my question is, as far as the pay, would the pay be on a scale that is equal to better than what they're receiving now as substitutes?
Yes, sir. Thank you for asking that. We mirror your current pay rates. The school district sets those pay rates. We do not. So whatever your pay rates are currently, that is what the substitute will still be paid.
Be paid?
Yes, sir.
And you said the principals will have the authority to hire their own employees?
We would actually hire them, since we're the employer, but they have absolute authority to recommend and to give us their input on who's in their buildings. Absolutely.
All right, anyone ready to make a motion?
Oh, sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
The current substitute list.
Yes,
Do you
ma'am.
plan to consider that list?
Yes, as I said earlier, we will invite all of your current substitute teachers and substitute employees to transition their employment to Kelly. And we will come to them to do that.
I got one other question.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Coachman.
How would you do your interview process? Or would you work through our local newspaper or different schools to say, for instance, to put it out there that Kelly?
Some of our, it's really interesting because some of the most effective recruiting we've done has been fairly rudimentary in some areas, and that is yard signs in places that we know that people frequent, sometimes even in the circles where you pick up children at the schools. But as far as interviewing, thank you for mentioning that, we do all the new hires, not the transition substitutes, because they're already cleared to work in your district. But any new hires, we also do a one-on-one behavioral situational interview with every candidate to make sure of how they would respond to certain situations in the classroom.
Ms. Parsons,
I
if
have a question of you.
Oh, okay.
How is this cost effective for us to pay an additional service over and above paying the substitutes?
Yeah, I'll let.
Okay.
Our cost of benefits are considerably higher
And theirs?
and so that really creates the savings for us, and also the huge risk for us is the Affordable Care Act.
Okay.
When you look at the potential liability, the exposure we have, we really feel this is
Okay.
a great solution.
Now, Dr. Taylor, what were you going to
Okay,
say?
the only thing I was going to add is that our Human Resources Department will work along with, if the board elects for us to move forward with Kelly Service, they'll work along with Kelly Service to hold a meeting with our current substitutes, so they will understand the change and that they will, continue to be able to sub for the district.
Is anybody against this?
I have one other question
I got a
before
question.
I am
Much against it,
from,
but,
so.
it's going to pass, but I don't like it. You're putting people out of work that need work, and I understand, Mr. Parks explained this earlier about the Affordable Care Act, but we're talking about people and this goes farther than Marlboro County School District. We don't put money where it needs to be put to take care of people that's taking care of our children. I don't like it. It's going to pass, but I don't like it, and I'm going to vote against it, but it's going to pass. We're just not.
We do employ the
We will employ the same.
I don't. That's not something I'm thinking. I
Don't
feel like
believe that.
I'm not going to say I don't believe it. It's just. We have several people in this area that work in industry as what we call them temporaries. 7 and 8 years they're temporary. They get nothing but just a paycheck per day. No benefits, no holiday pay, Thanksgiving, Christmas. That I don't like. It's nothing I can do about it. It's a bigger issue that is bigger than this board, but I won't support it here.
Well, let me just wait a minute. If I could just explain,
Sure.
We're not talking about teacher assistants. We're talking about substitutes. So substitutes don't have those type benefits. We pay them now on a daily basis. We pay them per day. When they come and work, we pay them, but we don't pay them like we do other employees.
And I understand that, but
Okay.
they deserve benefits. They deserve Thanksgiving pay. They deserve, if a snow day, they deserve pay. The issue is bigger than what we hear. I understand the money. I don't like it.
Well, we got
Mr.
people
Branch.
that they work all year as a substitute. And then when it comes summertime, they don't have anything to do. But with Kelly, they can find something to do during the summer for them.
I'm hoping that that remains to be
Alright.
seen. That
Yes,
remains
sir.
to be seen.
Mm-hmm.
And I got one question.
And it's totally up to the employee.
No, I don't like
It's
that
their
either.
If that's what they want.
Exactly.
And they will have benefits, you say, for far as unemployment, workman's compensation?
Yes, absolutely.
They got workers' comp here, but that's something that we won't have to pay.
Right.
Yeah, anybody that works here, even a
Okay, all right.
I got a quick question here for Wes, I guess. I'm reading through this, I read through this, but this is a one-year
Mr.
contract.
Triggers, I'm recognizing you.
Okay, good enough, thank you. This is a one-year contract.
Contract, is it for 5 years?
I'd have to look at your RFP again, but I believe it was 1 year with 4 one-year options.
I think that's correct.
And just so you know also, sir, all of our contracts have a 30-day out clause.
Okay.
So anytime if someone is not pleased or whatever, 30 days written notice, we'll transition back to, thankfully that hasn't happened, so
And
nobody.
I apologize to the chairman for not being recognized.
Well, everybody seems so passionate about this, and it's kind of getting out of control.
No, I just want to know how long the contract was.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve the implementation of Kelly Services to provide substitute teachers to the Marlboro County School District.
Is there a second?
I second.
Any discussion? All in favor, raise your right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all opposed? Did you get that, Ms. Tweed? Right, correct. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time, we appreciate it.
All right, now, what are we doing? All right, let's go back to the science fair.
I have to beg your indulgence. I was not aware that from McCall Elementary Middle School, we had several school winners with us tonight. And I don't
Okay.
want any of our students to go home without being recognized. So, and I think
Y'all
one or
come on
two
up.
may have already left, but please
Oh,
come up
my.
as I call your name with your parents.
Everybody come on up to the front.
Noah Murphy, 3rd place for 7th grade. Tyler Chavis, 1st place, 8th grade. Daniel Turner, 3rd place, 8th grade. And Haley Branton, 1st place, 7th grade, and overall school winner. And we're proud of you.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I'm too short, I'll be back there hid behind him.
It's just 8 o'clock, right? First meeting, first year I was elected, got out here at 11 o'clock.
Oh, my God.
What time is it? It's not even graduation. I turned to a pumpkin and I got a
All right. Would everybody that's going to be presenting get up close to the front so we can go lickety-split through the rest of this meeting? Summer programs, Ms. Battle.
Is this require a vote, or is this something we can receive as information?
It's just information.
Mr. Park can't go leave this.
This is just for information, and it's in your handout, in your board packet. I'm just going to share a little bit about our summer program. As we already know, the past year we've served 900 students, is going to be drastically reduced this year. Number one, we're using any carryover funds that we have from last summer and from the school term, and they're very, very minute. So we're not going to be able to serve 900 students. We will have our Freedom Schools, our regular Freedom Schools program that will serve 150 kids from grades pre-K through 12, and it will run from June 8th to July 24th, Mondays through Thursdays from 8 until 3. Our extended school year, we're going to have 150 students, all of our identified kindergarten, 4th and 8th graders, from June 8th to July 9th, same times. And we will possibly again this year be serving our identified Head Start students who will be coming to us next year in kindergarten that need that additional boost. Reading camp is for 3rd grade, and we are serving those 4th grade students who generated the funds for the reading camp. And I don't know if you remember how that all goes. If I need to elaborate, give me the nod and I will, but if you remember, we're good. And of course, Marlboro County High School will offer credit and seat recovery for self-pay. And that's because it's high school and they're Carnegie units. Any questions? So we're going to serve a total of 300 students this year, which is significantly lower than before. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Park. Financial report as of April 21st, 2015.
Good evening. Attached, you can find the budget report by object for general fund operations with expenditures to date. At April 21st, 2015, the district's cash and investment balances on hand for the 4 primary accounts were $8,552,259. As of that same date, the district had expended $22,749 of a $30,542,335 budget, or 74.08% of budget. Any questions?
Thank
And
you.
moving right on to the
Okay,
Wallace School construction project update.
Give you an update on Wallace School construction date. As of the date that I prepared the memo, there were no changes to the Wallace budget. However, we have gotten some, let me pass these around. I received an email from Joe Breeden, who is the chairman of the County Transportation Commission, and they have responded to the school district's request, and the amount of the funding that they're providing is half of what our costs are. So we do have a shortfall that we're going to need to address there, about $152,000.
Right.
But I didn't have that at the date of the report.
If we save money from the contingency, that will cover that shortfall?
Well, we'll have to see how that's going to work out, because I know that the amount of the contingency is pretty well committed already. So we're going to have to address that. And it could be that we'll have to look at additional funding from the penny in order to cover that cost.
So-
Mr. Goff?
So the agreements that we enter into, do they just tell us something and then change their mind whenever? I mean, if you enter into an agreement with somebody, I mean,
Yeah.
is it not binding the initial? I mean, I
Well,
don't recall anything.
we had discussion with the Transportation Commission, and of course, it is subject to their board approving, and apparently what's happened, some of their commitments in terms of, from the state, they make reference to their revenues being, concerned about revenues from the state, and so the board only approved half of the request.
All right, can we move on? All right.
Okay.
Request by the Collectonia Hawks alumni.
Yes. Attached, please find an email from the Calatonia Hawks alumni requesting donation of land to the Colic Elementary School to be used as a community recreation site. The property card from the Marlborough County Tax Assessor's Office is included for your review. The property card indicates the parcel is located on Highway 165 or Old Wire Road and is approximately 1.5 acres and is owned by the Colic School Board. It is my understanding after the order of consolidation, the properties owned by the Colic School Board became the property of Marlborough County School District. Also enclosed is the board policy, DN, that addresses school property disposition. I forwarded information regarding this request to Dave Duff for his further review and recommendation, and you can see his email. As indicated in the email and per my discussion, the requirement the county council approve this position is no longer relevant. So you as a governing body do have the authorization to transfer the property to this association. It's up to you, certainly.
Would someone like to make a motion?
I'd like to make a motion that we transfer this property to the, over to the Calatonia Hawks.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Without discussion, everybody in favor, raise your right hand. Motion's carried unanimously.
Okay, thank you.
Great. An advertisement of the general fund budget for 2015-16.
Yes, you have before you an attached advertisement for public hearing on general fund budget for fiscal year 2015-16. As you've heard, the proposed operating budget has been trimmed significantly from the original request of $33,211,910 to $31,255,963. Even with the cuts, a 3 mil operating millages increase is needed to balance based on revenue estimates using the House projections. In addition to the 3 mil for operating millage, a 6 mil increase for debt service is needed to provide for special education classroom equipment and other improvements to schools. The financing will be used to meet the maintenance of effort for IDEA, which is the Individual with Disabilities Education Act. Without the approval of millage for financing, the shortfall in general fund increases by about another $500,000. And my request here is to authorize the advertisement of public hearing on the 15-16 budget. You can see the attachment.
Is there a motion? Whoops, we got a problem.
Okay.
Let me make sure I understand what you're
And
saying.
let me just state this as well. Of course, there is a 15-day requirement prior to first reading. So there does become a timing issue if we have first reading the beginning of June. So obviously, I think the scheduled date for this advertisement is May 15th.
So the bottom line is, we're not voting on the first reading of the budget.
No,
We're just
just
advertising.
authorizing the advertisement
And the hearing,
Public hearing.
and the hearing will
Would
take
and the
someone
place.
public hearing.
I make a motion that we approve the advertisement of the general budget for 2015-2016 on May 15th.
Very good.
A second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Did you vote? Oh, okay. It's unanimous. Thank you very much,
Okay,
Mr. Parks. Dr.
thank you.
McLeod?
I'm
Please not
stepping
over.
in for him
Oh,
tonight.
okay.
So
Update on school projects.
anyway, we'll give you a little update on the school project rather than maybe even projecting this. I'll just tell you the band room, the course room, and the media center carpets have been installed and complete, and you can see that here tonight. The footers are down at the baseball complex for the concession and the press box. Wallace is progressing nicely. We've got some slides. And the backstop at Clio is complete. So here are just some of the pictures associated with that, and the fencing is still ongoing.
Where's that at?
That is the
Behind the baseball field.
baseball.
Right behind, that's the varsity baseball field right there.
Okay, next.
Hold on, Mr. Park.
Yes,
Madam
sir.
Chair. Did they address about the fence at Clio? Is it high enough now?
It is 5 feet, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, next. Still the high school? Okay, next. And that's the west side of the Wallace project. I think that would be, oh, east side rather, yep, yep. And that's more construction there. You can see certainly walls are going up. All right.
All right.
Okay.
Approval of proposals for public address system, burglar alarm system, security access system, and camera system for Wallace Elementary Middle School.
Okay, these are 4 items that are district responsibilities that are outside the contract with Thompson Turner. And what I'm requesting is the authorization to award contracts for camera system, public address system, burglar and security alarm systems for Wallace School. Attached, you can find the proposals. Not sure whether they're actually included in the document itself, but they were emailed. I know they're about 150 pages, so we didn't put it in the document itself.
So how do we know what we're voting on?
You actually received the
get it.
document. It was an attachment.
You had to download it.
And okay, I do have one set of hard copies with me. I'll be glad to give those to you. But let me just kind of go
Did
through
y'all
my
get it?
recommendation.
Sometimes I don't.
And sometimes what will happen is if your spam filter can't accept an attachment that large, maybe there might be a
I
problem
can't
with
even
that.
find my spam filter. I got the agenda, but I didn't get the other. I think I got all the board packet, but I didn't get that.
Okay.
There was two of them.
Okay.
It was. That's right.
Mr. Drigger?
Okay.
Wes, are these figures that you're showing here, are they estimates? Or
No,
are they-
these are actual proposals.
These are solid figures that
These
you
are solid.
contacted?
Well, these are solid figures. What we did, of course, we met as a committee. We did engage the services of the Sims Group in order to help us with the evaluation, which was a recommendation from the architect, Joel Carter. And we were able to evaluate the proposals. Just give you an idea, the telecom we recommended for the camera system, price of $30,718.58, and we had price ranges anywhere from $30,718.58 to $48,230 to $56,423.87. The telecom, again, recommendation for the public address system, $39,394.59, and those proposals ranged anywhere from $39,394.59 to $47,163.82 to $85,690 to $94,931.25.
I have no problem with saving money, but we
Right.
are comparing apples with apples here on these different prices, right?
These are, the more expensive systems probably are a little more elaborate, but they're much beyond what we need for that facility.
And you're
So-
cool with it, Mr. Brown?
Yes, I'm basing that on the Sims Group.
Okay.
Electrical engineers.
Okay,
Don't have the expertise.
okay.
And,
All
and
right.
we've also had previous experience with telecom as well, so.
Someone like to make a motion?
Okay. Madam Chair, I make a motion, we approve the proposals for the public address system, the burglar alarm system, security access system, and the camera system for the Wallace Elementary Middle School.
I second.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion's carried. Thank you, Mr.
And
Thank you.
And Ms. Parsons, I'd just like to say one thing about that system. We also had staff to go and take a look at that same system operating in neighboring schools.
Okay.
So I just want you.
And bless Dr. Cobb's heart, he's already there, ready to jump up to the podium. Board of Education meeting schedule for, let me get to read it, 2015-2016 school year.
We missed one thing, was the McCall.
Yeah,
Project.
the addition to the,
Right.
that we voted for.
Oh, sorry.
Mr. Dr. Phillips.
Sorry, Dr. Phillips.
No problem. I've been looked over quite a bit tonight for some reason, maybe my height. Good evening, Madam Chair, board members, Dr. Tiller. This is a look at phase one of the playground project that we have in works. That's an overview of the school, which you can just kind of gives you a little bit of an overview. The next slide is what we're looking in terms of the quote that we're looking at, which is going to be funded by our community members and local business partners, $65,230.60, which will be, that's for the pre-K and for the middle school playgrounds. Next slide.
And if I could just share that on this slide, the total is not, it was cut off, but it is on the board in your packets. The actual total was $65,000.
Right, it went to landscape, so we got lost on that last end of that. Next slide will show you, this is the pre-K playground. What we're looking at in terms of total replacement, that'll be that. The next slide will show you the other side of the pre-K playground, and that's what we're looking at for the preschool. Okay, and then we have a spec and overview of that's looking at the overview of what they have for the preschool. Okay, next slide. And here is our middle school basketball court. That'll be out with 6 basketball hoops onto that for the middle school, which will be in replacement of what we have now. Next slide will show you an overview of that, where the basketball hoops will be in the full basketball court. Okay, next slide. This is for phase 2, which hopefully will be later, soon later, but that's for the elementary that we're not addressing in phase 1, which is a total of $47,205.40. Next slide. That will be for the middle school, the elementary, for the new playground on that. There'll actually be 2 slides and those steps and everything on both ends. And you show that the next slide will be the other part to that. Oh, that's the spec. Then next slide, we'll have the second part. Will go to the other side of those swing sets, and that'll be for the elementary. Okay, next slide. This is the overview of the school we had at the beginning. This shows us A, B, and C. If you look at if you go to the far right, if you take that arrow over there, Mr. Toole, you see that's Main Street there. That right where he's at is where the playground's at now, and obviously it's right by the main road. We want to move it up to where A's at. That'll be where the basketball court will be for the middle school, obviously away from the road, a little safer, and that'll be for that. Go to number B. That's where the preschool playground is now. It'll be just a replacement in the same spot. C is going to be, if you go down a little bit where that sandy area is, that's where the current playground is. It's in low-lying areas. It floods quite a bit. This will be elevated to where the new elementary, that'll be for phase 2, will move up to an elevated area to avoid flooding and the mess that usually happens out there after rainy days. As I said, we've got the quote. Hopefully with approval we can move forward. And
in area C, what do you have for current equipment as far as for the elementary school?
Well, the current equipment is down below. We just have 1 swing set. What do we have over there for a total? We have the 1 swing set.
We have one play system that is already incorporated in with the new playground. If we get that for the phase 2, it's a play system, and it will be moved. And that was in part of the price to have it taken up and relocated. So you have 2 of the big play systems. So we have 2 sets of swings, and we have 1 play system. And it's kind of shared on opposite days for boys and girls at that level. They kind of separate.
Yeah, one day boys can use the swing, next day the girls can use. But hopefully with this new, all of them can do it. So, and that would be moved up to where we're looking at for C.
Do we need a vote on that?
I think we've already approved and phase 1 is coming entirely from non-school district funds.
Yeah,
So I don't know that. I don't know if we need to do.
Do we need to?
Or do you think we need to do anything to authorize it?
I think the code, our procurement code says anything over $60,000.
All right, someone make a motion, please.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I move that we approve phase 1 of the playground project, which will include the pre-K and middle school playgrounds at a cost of $65,230.60. cost to be paid through private funds.
All in favor, please raise your right hand. Motion's carried unanimously, Ms. Tweed. Thank you. All right, we're back to Board of Education meeting schedule for 2015-16 school year. Would someone please make a motion?
Madam Chair, I make a motion we approve the meeting schedule for 2015-2016.
Second.
Second, all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion's carried unanimously. The 2015-2016 summer work schedule for district employees.
That's in your packet, Madam Chair, board members. Summer work schedule, 4-day work week to begin the week of June 8th, 2015, and ending July 31st, 2015. And that's for information only.
All right. Superintendent's report, Dr. Tiller.
Ms. Parsons, members of the board, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'd just like to update you that students, faculty, and staff were geared up and ready for the ACT and ACT Aspire testing last week, grades 3 through 8 and 11th grade. Grades 9 and 10 took the TE21 ELA and math benchmark and also the work key exam. This week we will administer the South Carolina PASS in science and in social studies. And in preparation for the testing, our schools held ACT and Aspire pep rallies, which focused on test-taking tips and strategies, and also just to get them geared up for testing. And I attended the actual rally at McCall, and it was wonderful. And the whole message was, yes, you can, be prepared, do your best, get some rest, and just remember, try and try again. And so it was really good, and we had a guest basketball star. I don't remember his name. He was from Coastal Carolina. Colin Stevens. Right, and our children just really enjoyed their time with him. Also, we had our own students from our high school, some of our high school athletes to come and speak to the students as well. Also, we've been working with the students again. This year, the test, the Aspire, was timed, and that's different from our previous past tests. Before, our kids could take the test, and it didn't matter how long it took for them to complete it. But the new test is a time test, so that's something that we've been working with our children on, moving quickly, but making sure that they read the questions carefully. And we've tried to do things to help them not have anxiety regarding the testing. And so all state-required testing will end on May 13th, and that will include all our makeup testing. This week, the district will celebrate Teacher Appreciation, Bus Drivers Appreciation, and School Nutrition Employee Week. Nurses Appreciation will celebrate next week. Throughout the week, the administration will honor the men and women who work with our students on a daily basis to prepare them to become global leaders and productive citizens in the 21st century. And they are truly our sheroes and heroes, and so we will be celebrating them and the work that they do. On May 21st at 6 p.m., we will hold registration and information sessions at Marlboro County High School, and this will be for parents of students who have been identified to participate in one of our summer programs. Parents will receive information regarding dates, times, location, transportation, and expectations for participation in the summer programs. The annual report to the parents and report to the people. The report to the parents is a school level report, and the report to the people is a district level. And schools and districts are required to prepare and distribute an annual report each year. Schools are required to complete an annual report to the parents, and the district is required to prepare an annual report to the people. Both reports outline the school and/or district's vision, mission, and goals, providing test performance information and highlighting events from the previous year, as well as our accomplishments, initiatives, and programs. The principals have completed their school reports, and the district administration is working on the annual report to the people. These reports will be shared with parents, local businesses, churches, community organizations, and all business partners. And I do have a copy of those reports for each board member, which I will make sure you get a copy before you leave. Also, upcoming events. I'll go on and pass this around, because this one is easy to pass. This is upcoming events, and these are not all the events. Some of the events, like the high school, what they shared with you this evening, some of those are not on here, but we provided a calendar of events for your information, and as your schedules will permit, members of the board, we encourage you to come out and participate. Our district celebration of success will be held on Thursday, May 28th at 6 p.m. at Marlboro County High School. Please join us as we celebrate our teachers and students' accomplishments. The retirement banquet will be held on June 3rd, 2015. This is at 6:30, and this will be at the Sky, and we will be honoring all district retirees, folks that will be retiring this year. We are currently awaiting notification of awards for the following grants that we are actively or have actively pursued. The 21st Century Learning Grants for 4 of our schools, fresh fruits and vegetable grants for all of our schools serving pre-K through 6th grade. And I'm really excited about this because this would allow us to provide fruit and vegetables not only during the school day for after school for our students, but also for the weekends. And so this would just be great, and hopefully we're going to be awarded that grant. We are also in the final writing stages of our at-risk grants for all of our schools. At the School of Discovery, of course, we've submitted for the Arts and Basic Curriculum grant for our programs there. And I'm also working on another grant to provide some additional training for our teachers and staff with Ms. Edelman. And this will be a federal grant if we're able to land it. As you know, the last grant we landed was for $7 million that we shared in with East Baton Rouge, Louisiana School District, and that's how we were able to provide summer school for so many students. So we're working again, and I'll keep the board updated as I receive information about if we're going to be funded. If these grants that I've already mentioned, if and when, I'm going to say when, you have to think positive, when they're funded, it will yield us in excess of $1 million per the next 3 years. Again, I would like to thank the principals, senior staff, and the finance department for their hard work and contributions in helping us to work toward achieving a balanced budget. And Ms. Parsons, one other thing. The University of South Carolina Center for Educational Partnerships and the South Carolina School Improvement Council have partnered with our school district to provide a family academy, and this will be on June 13th for 150 of our parents. Together we will provide workshops for parents and students that are relevant and engaging. This is something new for the South Carolina School Improvement Council, and we're excited to be a part of it because I think they just selected certain districts, and so this will be for our parents. And Ms. Parsons, that concludes my report. All of these correct?
Dr. Tiller,
Yes, sir.
when did you say that retirement dinner was?
It's June 3rd, and it's going to be at the Sky at 6:30.
Okay.
We got everything.
hang up. Okay, all right. So we need a motion to go into executive session for 8 elections, 4 petitions for high school graduations,
So moved.
matter, and employee matter.
So moved.
All right? Is there a second? All in favor, please raise your right hand. Yeah? Okay.
I just wanted to say one other thing. I know Ms. Parsons going to hit me over the head because I had one more thing I need to say. But I just want everybody to know that some of our students were in a two car accidents after the prom. And so I just want you to keep those families in our prayers.
Were they injured badly?
One was injured badly and was undergoing surgery today. So I just want you to know, please, but I want you to know they were just accidents. Our kids were not drinking or anything of that nature, but I want us to keep those families in our thoughts and prayers. Thank you.
Session, please.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Motion's carried. No action was taken, no decision was made, and we have 8 elections. Dr. Cobb,
Madam Chair, the administration recommends approval of 8 elections.
is there a motion?
Madam Chair, make a motion that we accept the recommendation from Human Resources.
Is there a
for 8
second?
election.
Second.
All in favor, raise your right hand. Is Mr. Coachman, did Mr. Coachman?
He said he had to go.
Well, we'll be here all night. We can't adjourn.
Somebody can do that.
We'll work that out. We'll work that out.
We can't adjourn without him. All right.
figure it out.
We have Ms. Battle with,
We're asking for approval of 4 high school petitions, successful.
Madam Chair, I move we accept 4 petitions for high school diploma.
I second.
all in favor, raise your right hand. Motion's carried. We're just going to have to wing it with you, Mr. Branch.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second? All in favor, raise your right hand. We're adjourned.
Hold his pen
You
back
didn't
here.
cut it.
something goes
Oh,
good.
oh, oh.
And we in the 7th inning of the playoff game. We're down 1.